Welcome back to Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin Telp, and we will start with pastors have gone wild. They have lost their absolute minds. This clip of our Kansas City pastor, I don't know his name, no one's said his name yet, it's gone viral this week.
I ain't worth y'all Louis Vuitton. Come on. I ain't worth your Prada. Come on. I'm not worth your Gucci. You can buy a Movado watch in Sam's.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters. I don't want to hear no more excuses about what y'all can't afford. You can't afford it because you don't see the value here. Y'all hear from y'all pastor and father, I'm over y'all. I'm over your cheap expressions.
If you are broke, busted, and disgusted, he is disgusted with his congregation because they didn't get him a Movado watch. And he goes on, and pastors do this, they preach against you. Like, you know, when you young and you 16, the first sermon you hear is about fornication. You've been in church for 16 years. Soon as you get a little bit of a little something, the pastor's like, the fornicators go to hell. You're like, is he looking right at me? He is preaching to his congregation, and he's upset because they're not taking care of the shepherd. And I get it. I would be pissed off too if I was a pastor and I had to sit there and look at Whitehead's closet, his prayer closet, excuse me, and then I had to go and look at my church. They couldn't even get me a funky Movado? I'd be pissed too. Pastors have a responsibility to lead people to God. They can't lead people to God and like hoopties and without bling. How do you follow them through the dark if they not blinging a little bit? You know, just asking the questions people want to know. They say religion is the opioid of the masses. Maybe he just wants to get paid like an opioid dealer. Let's be honest. There is an opioid crisis in the United States of America.
Don't anybody know nothing? Huh?
Speaking of shiesty behavior and shiesty people, Adam Newman, former CEO of WeWork, and WeWork is this company that at one point was shared office space. It's smart. Hey, I got a small business, you got a small business, we're gonna split the cost of this office space and everyone wins. His company at one point was valuated at $44 billion. Let him tell you. Investors were dropping money into this because this was the new big thing. Then he went public, and when he went public, they found out his company wasn't worth shit. So Adam Newman is now coming out with a new company called Flow, which is designed to revolutionize residential housing, Airbnb, and some other stuff. And have him tell it again, it is worth a valuation of $1 billion. And if you believe that, man, have I have some stock for you. Enron. Wait, stay with me. Enron is the next wave of energy. Also, if you need a babysitter, I know someone, R. Kelly, he will take care of any kid from the age of 13 to 16. And of course, if you're looking for a place to invest, I have an accountant, Bernie Madoff. Okay, and since we're on the topic of Madoff or making off, Carolyn Bryant will not be indicted for the murder or manslaughter of Emmett Till. She came out in her memoirs, her secret memoirs, they weren't supposed to be published yet, and said, yeah, I lied. Yeah, I did it. And what? To be fair, I love deathbed confessions. I really do. Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt, Herman. She came out and said she knowingly lied about what happened between her and Emmett Till that day, which caused the loss of a young boy's life. And that's always a tragedy. Now, the DA is saying, hey, maybe we don't need to actually indict her because she's old. She's an old white woman in her 80s. And I get that, right? Is it too late to throw her in jail? But if you ask Spectrum, they have to pay $7 billion for the death of an 80-year-old woman. And so the question is, how old is 80 really? Or is there a color scale that we're missing out on? But there has been a little justice for us. One of the conspirators and murderers of Breonna Taylor, Kelly Goodlett, former officer, will plead guilty to tampering with the search warrant. And it's true, she knows she did it. The other guys are gonna go and fight this because that blue line sticks together. But people have been yelling for justice for Breonna for years and years and years. So it's finally nice to see the wheels of justice spinning. Oh, so slowly. but they're spinning. Speaking of law enforcement, Madison County Sheriff Buddy, that's what we're gonna call him, that's his actual name is Buddy, and the school supervisors have come up with an idea to deter school shootings. And you know what that is? We're gonna put AR-15s into every school in our county because that is going to stop people from walking in. If you listen to the sheriff's argument, he goes, what if I get to the school and I don't know what's happening? And then I would have to get to the school, stop, and then walk back to my trunk. There is a lot of lives lost in that moment. Sir, what the hell has happened from the time that you got the call from dispatch to the time you arrived at school that nobody told you, of all people, what the hell happened? That you ran into the school and left, oh shit. Yo, you got I left my AR in the trunk. I'ma be right. Did all that happen? Where are we gonna store these AR-15s? These AR-15s are gonna be stored in a safe that is locked and put into a specific location in the school. So if you leave your AR at the trunk, it'll be easier for you to infiltrate a school with a shooter, weaponless, to go get to the safe, to unlock the safe, to then pull out the AR-15 and then start your match of Call of Duty. Is it me? Or does this shit just sound stupid? You know what, but good job, guys. We gotta defend our police. Most of us, those rebels over at Fox, are no longer fans of law enforcement because their homeboy, Cheeto Hair, I don't fuck his name, his estate in Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI, and they were like, it's a liberal agenda, although the FBI director was appointed by Trump, but that doesn't matter. They ran into Mar-a-Lago because he took things from the White House, documents, top secret, confidential documents. They're there. The FBI went in and was like, oh, there's the box here in the middle of this apartment. Sir, you should have been arrested. And yet again, he's on news talking shit about the FBI. And so the conservative Blue Lives Matter, don't defund the police, what's wrong with you niggas, is now saying, hey, did the FBI overstep their bounds? Is law enforcement in this country out of control?
We are on the precipice of a group of truly evil people who are prepared to destroy the Constitution and the rule of law, and who are proving it every day.
What? It's comedy because you cannot write this shit. Look, I wrote something and it wasn't even that funny. Now that it benefits them, they think law enforcement has a problem. And I think that's part of the issue that we're missing out in this country is we live in two different Americas. Black people have said, hey, law enforcement's been out of pocket since forever. And white people are like, no. We said Black Lives Matter. Conservatives said Blue Lives Matter. And now that something has happened that inconveniences that side, we get a call for defunding the police and regulating them. It's funny how that goes. But we gotta break that down. And for more on that, it's time for our Need Help, Get Help segment.
Need help, get help.
So, two different Americas. Yale did a research study with teachers. They had preschool students, 4. A black boy, a black girl, a white boy, and a white girl playing. Just having a good old time. They asked teachers to look at these kids and find misbehavior. Now, this test was a setup. And the idea of this test was not that the kids were going to misbehave, but to follow sight lines and really get an eye study of what the teachers were looking for. What the study found is that they spent most of their time looking at the little black boy, white teachers and black teachers, and that the marketing for our children is already so bad that we look at little black kids as the catalyst for misbehavior. Now, how does this affect black kids down the line? These are the kids that fall behind. They miss class, they miss school time, and then because of this, it starts a downward spiral. They are no longer kids that are caught up, but they're behind, and so of course they then misbehave. And it pushes along that school to jail farm system that we talk about. Why little black boy? It's our marketing. Because when you turn on a TV, the thing that you see are violent behaviors by black men. You listen to our rappers, it's violent behavior by them. Now mind you, being black in America is no walk in the park. And so for that, we have to have grace, because when you have a tragedy like a father who takes his 3 young kids and murders them on Facebook Live, and then himself, or Coach Mike, age 43, being shot and killed in front of his 9-year-old son, we have a problem. But it's not a black problem. It is a countrywide problem. And in order to fix this, 1, we have to start with grace, and 2, we have to go back to the beginning, to the building blocks. Sorry I ended that on such a heavy note, but it had to happen. Thanks for banging with us again for another episode of Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marv. Peace. If you enjoy this show, make sure you check out the rest of the shows on the Comedy Trap House Network. Mayhem Hour, Mic Drop, and of course the OG, the Comedy Trap House Podcast. Also, follow your boy on Instagram. And again, if you like all things nerdum, anime, Marvel, MCU, etc., follow us at the Coolest Nerds You've Ever Met podcast. Thanks for spending time with us at Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin Telp. See you when we see you. Peace.